If you are hearing these words right now, it is not by chance, not an accident, not a random scroll, but a divine interruption, a sacred moment set apart for you. Heaven has stepped into your timeline to speak directly to the place where you are weary, worn down, and quietly wondering how much longer you can keep going. God sees the exhaustion you don't talk about, the effort that hasn't seemed to pay off, the cycle you've been stuck in where every day feels the same no matter how hard you try, and the pressure that sits on your chest when you think about money, stability, or the future you hoped would look different by now. You are not weak for feeling this way, and you are not failing. You have been carrying more than most people ever see, and God has been watching every unseen sacrifice, every silent prayer, every moment you chose to keep moving when it would have been easier to quit. This is why your spirit feels stirred right now, because something has shifted, and the season of constant strain is coming to an end. The waiting was not punishment, it was preparation, and the delay was not denial, it was alignment. God says the pressure is lifting, the cycle is breaking, and the door you could not force open is about to move by divine command. I will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten, and the glory of this latter house shall be greater than the former, are not distant promises. They are confirmations that what is ahead will outweigh what you have survived. Take this in. You are stepping into a season where provision replaces panic, where clarity replaces confusion, and where movement replaces stagnation. The help you need is closer than you think. The answer you've been praying for is already in motion, and this moment marks the beginning of visible change. Stay here, because what comes next will confirm what your spirit already knows and activate what God is unfolding right now. As an act of faith and alignment, like this video to mark this divine interruption, subscribe to stay connected to what heaven is releasing next, and comment 999 as a prophetic declaration that this old season is closing and a new one is opening for you now. Chosen one, you did not imagine the weight you've been carrying, and you are not weak for feeling tired of trying so hard with so little to show for it, because heaven has seen how long you've been in survival mode, how often you've held responsibilities that were never meant to be yours, how many nights you lay awake calculating numbers, replaying conversations, wondering if the future will ever open up, wondering if you somehow missed your moment or fell behind everyone else. This message meets you right in that quiet exhaustion where effort felt endless and progress felt invisible. And God says, you have not been wasting your strength. You have been enduring a season that was never meant to be permanent. You have questioned your value because results were slow. You have doubted yourself because the loop wouldn't break, and you have wondered if the pressure would ever lift. But heaven has been counting every unseen step, every silent sacrifice, every time you chose not to quit when it would have been justified. Take this in. You are not stuck because you lack faith or discipline. You were held because timing was still aligning, and now that alignment has begun to move. This is the shift you sensed but couldn't explain. Your season of struggle is over. The chains of scarcity are breaking. The tide is turning. What once required exhausting effort will now respond to divine order, because God is stepping in as the source, not just the helper, not just the backup plan, but the full provider of what comes next. The Lord will open to you. His good treasure stands as confirmation. And just as Elijah was sustained through impossible conditions by provision that came day by day beyond logic, you are being carried into a flow that does not depend on your strain. This is not about you figuring it out anymore. This is about God carrying the weight you were never meant to hold, financing what He authored, sustaining what He initiated, and completing what He began. Peace is returning before proof appears. Clarity is forming before circumstances change, and rest is becoming your new posture because the responsibility has shifted. You are not late. You are right on time for divine takeover, and the pressure you've lived under is lifting because heaven has assumed control. The part you've been praying about, sensing but not yet seeing, is about to be activated, and what comes next will confirm in real time what your spirit has already felt stirring beneath the surface. Stay with this, because the next part will unlock what has been quietly waiting for you to be ready to receive it. Chosen one, you are not imagining the exhaustion that has settled into your bones, the kind that comes from trying again and again without seeing the outcome change, from carrying responsibilities that were never meant to be yours, from waking up each day with quiet financial pressure pressing against your chest and wondering how much longer you can keep going like this. Heaven has seen how long you've been stuck in the same loop, doing the right things with little visible return, questioning your own worth because the breakthrough didn't arrive when you hoped it would, fearing the future because the present felt so uncertain. You are not weak for feeling tired, and you are not forgotten because progress seemed slow. This season has been heavy because it was shaping you, not because you failed. What if the exhaustion you've been fighting is not a sign to push harder, but a signal that you were never meant to carry this alone? Stay with me for a moment. What you've endured has been acknowledged, recorded, and honored in the unseen. And God says the weight you've been carrying is about to be lifted because it was never designed to be permanent. This is the shift you sensed but couldn't explain. What once felt blocked is loosening. What once resisted you is beginning to move. And the pressure that kept you in survival mode is releasing its grip. From this moment forward, the responsibility shifts completely from your effort to God's provision, because He is taking full ownership of what He initiated in your life, and you are no longer required to hold it together by sheer will. "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want," stands as confirmation. And just as Joseph was carried from confinement to provision without striving when the appointed time arrived, you are stepping into a season where favor moves you forward without force. You didn't misjudge your calling, you didn't overestimate your capacity, and you didn't miss your window. You were being prepared for a level of support that could sustain what comes next. Peace is replacing panic. Clarity is replacing confusion, and rest is becoming your new posture, because God is now carrying the outcome. You are not late, you are aligned, and the shift you sensed before hearing these words is real. What unfolds next will validate everything your spirit has been discerning beneath the surface, and the next part will unlock and activate what has already begun moving toward you in the unseen. Chosen one, if this is speaking to you, support this message, like the video, subscribe, and write "I receive" in the comments. Now breathe and stay with me, because the next part is for the season you're in right now. Chosen one, you have been running on empty for longer than anyone knows, waking up with responsibility already weighing on your chest, pushing forward even when nothing seemed to move, wondering how you could give so much effort and still feel stuck in the same place. You carried pressures that were never meant to be yours, financial worries that followed you into the night, fear about a future that felt unclear, and a quiet question that kept resurfacing when things didn't change fast enough. Maybe I'm the problem, maybe I'm not enough. Heaven has seen that exhaustion, the kind that doesn't come from laziness but from endurance, from trying to hold everything together while doubting your own value because the results didn't match your faith. Stay with me for a moment. What you are feeling is not failure. It is the signal that a cycle is ending, and God is acknowledging the weight you've been under and declaring that it will no longer define you. What has held you is losing authority. What held you in survival mode is losing authority, and what drained you is being replaced with steady provision and clarity that doesn't require panic. From here, the responsibility shifts completely, because God is taking full ownership of what concerns you, and you are no longer the one who has to calculate every outcome or brace yourself for disappointment. Cast your burden on the Lord, and He will sustain you, stands as confirmation. And just as Elijah was fed in a time of famine by provision that didn't make sense to the world, you are entering a season where supply meets you without strain. Breathe with me. This isn't about you trying harder or proving your worth. God Himself is carrying the weight, directing the timing, and backing your steps with authority you don't have to manufacture. Peace is replacing fear, hope is rising where doubt once lived, and anticipation is building because something is aligning beneath the surface, even if you can't see it yet. You are not behind, you are not overlooked, and you are not stuck. You are being repositioned into a flow that supports you instead of exhausting you. The next part will unlock and confirm what your spirit has already begun to sense, and it will make clear why this shift could not have happened any sooner. Heaven has seen that quiet endurance, and it is calling it by name, not as weakness, but as faith under pressure. Stay with me for a moment. What you have felt as stagnation was not abandonment, it was preparation, and God is confirming that your persistence has been recorded even when no one applauded it. The pressure that shaped you is releasing its grip. What once demanded striving is giving way to flow, and the anxiety that followed you is losing its grip because the responsibility is no longer resting on your shoulders. God is taking full control of provision, timing, and outcome, and you are stepping into rest without losing momentum. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still, stands as confirmation. And just as Joseph moved from confinement to command without effort of his own, you are being lifted into alignment by divine authority rather than human force. Let your spirit settle here. Hope is rising where fatigue once lived, and anticipation is forming because something is shifting beneath the surface that cannot be reversed. You are not behind, you are not failing, and you are not forgotten. You are being repositioned into a season where grace sustains what effort could not. Peace is replacing panic, clarity is replacing confusion, and confidence is returning to places where doubt had settled. The pressure that made you question yourself was never meant to break you, only to reveal that God's strength was already at work when yours felt depleted. You are entering a chapter where provision follows purpose, where support arrives without force, and where your value is no longer measured by struggle. The next part will unlock and confirm what your spirit has already begun to recognize, and it will reveal why this shift is happening now and not a moment sooner. Chosen one, you have been running on empty longer than anyone knows, showing up day after day while the results stayed silent, carrying responsibilities that were never meant to rest on your shoulders, lying awake with numbers and timelines looping in your mind, wondering if this is all life would ever be. The exhaustion you feel is not weakness, it is evidence of how long you have endured without quitting, how many times you kept going while doubting your own worth, how often you questioned the future because the present felt stuck on repeat. God sees that fatigue, and He is calling it by its true name: faith under pressure. Breathe with me. You are not invisible, and you have not been overlooked. Every unseen effort has been recorded, every silent prayer acknowledged, every tear weighed with care. This is the turning point. Your season of struggle is over. The chains of scarcity are breaking. The tide is turning. What once felt heavy is lifting now, and the fear that followed you is losing its authority because the burden is no longer yours to carry. God is taking full responsibility for provision, timing, and outcome, and peace is becoming your new foundation. The Word confirms it. Cast all your anxiety on Him, because He cares for you. And just as the widow's oil did not run dry when she surrendered the last of what she had, your supply is being sustained by a source that cannot fail. Take this in. Hope is rising where despair once lived, and anticipation is awakening because something irreversible has already shifted beneath the surface. You are not behind, you are not failing, and you are not late. You are being repositioned for a season where grace accomplishes what effort never could. God Himself is now carrying what you were never meant to hold, and your role is no longer to strive, but to trust, to receive, and to move forward without fear. Relief is replacing panic, clarity is quieting confusion, and confidence is returning to places where doubt once settled. This pressure did not come to break you, it came to prepare you for what is next, and you are ready now. Stay attentive, because the next part will unlock and confirm what your spirit has already begun to sense, revealing why this shift is happening now and what it is about to activate in your life. Chosen one, you have been living inside a quiet exhaustion that few people recognize, waking up already tired, pushing forward while questioning if your effort even matters, carrying financial pressure and emotional responsibility that were never meant to define your worth, repeating days that feel too similar while wondering when relief will finally arrive. You did not imagine this heaviness, and you are not weak for feeling it. It is the result of enduring far longer than most could, while still hoping, still believing, still showing up even when nothing seemed to change. God has been watching every unseen moment, and He is calling your pain by name so it no longer controls you. Stay with me for a moment. The frustration, the fear of falling behind, the doubt that whispers you should be further by now, are not signs of failure. They are signals that a transition has already begun beneath the surface. What felt immovable is shifting now, and what felt delayed is being released with precision. It is no longer your duty to struggle. It is God's responsibility to provide for you. The weight you carried is being transferred, and peace is taking its place because heaven has assumed control. Scripture confirms this promise. The Lord will open the heavens, the storehouse of His bounty. And just as Elijah was sustained in the wilderness by provision he did not create or control, You are being supported by a supply that arrives without striving. Let that land. Hope is rising again, not the fragile kind that fades with circumstances, but a steady confidence that something real is unfolding. Here's the key. The silence you endured was not abandonment, it was preparation, and the delay was not denial, it was alignment. You are stepping into a season where provision flows with purpose, where effort is met by grace, and where the future no longer feels threatening but inviting. Anticipation is awakening because your path is being cleared in real time, and the fear that once followed you is losing its voice. You are not behind schedule. You are right on time for a shift that changes how you live, how you decide, and how you rest. God is not asking you to push harder. He is inviting you to trust deeper, to release control, and to allow support to reach you without resistance. Relief is already moving toward you. Clarity is forming where confusion once lived, and confidence is returning because your value is no longer measured by struggle. Before this moment passes, stay attentive, because what comes next will activate and confirm what your spirit has already begun to sense, revealing why this change is happening now and what it is about to unlock in your life. You don't need to fix yourself to hold what is coming, and you don't need to prove your worth by carrying more than you already have. In this season, you are allowed to stop tightening your grip and let your body, your mind, and your spirit rest where they are. Allow yourself to pause without guilt, even if only for a few quiet minutes in the morning or before sleep, not to plan or solve anything, but simply to breathe and acknowledge that you are held. You are invited to release the habit of scanning the future for threats, and instead notice what is already being sustained today, because alignment now looks like presence, not pressure. You don't need to chase clarity. Clarity arrives when you create space, and that space can be as simple as sitting without noise, placing your hand over your heart, and letting your thoughts slow until your breathing steadies. Rest in this season is not disengagement. It is cooperation with what God is already doing on your behalf. You may feel drawn to gently clear one small area of your space, not to control outcomes, but to symbolize openness, or to write down what you are releasing rather than what you are demanding, allowing your expectations to soften into trust. You don't need to rehearse worst-case scenarios anymore. When worry rises, you are allowed to say inwardly that this concern is no longer yours to carry, and let it pass without argument. Alignment also looks like choosing not to rush decisions, allowing responses to come after peace rather than panic, and noticing how your body reacts when you stop forcing movement. Trust does not require certainty. It grows when you let unanswered questions remain unanswered without fear. You may find yourself naturally saying no to what drains you and yes to what feels calm and steady, not because you are trying to improve yourself, but because your spirit recognizes safety. Release in this season is quiet, not dramatic. It happens when you stop replaying what you should have done and allow yourself to be supported exactly as you are. Receiving is not effortful. It begins when you stop resisting ease and let help arrive in forms you didn't plan. You don't need to understand the process, map the timeline, or manage the results, because the work unfolding around you does not depend on your vigilance. You are allowed to rest while provision moves, to trust while answers assemble, and to soften while outcomes align. What is meant for you will not miss you. and it will arrive in the right moment without strain, without forcing, and without you having to hold everything together. What you have felt while listening is real, and it matters more than you may realize. The quiet, stirring in your chest, the sense of being seen without explanation, the easing of pressure you have carried for so long are not random moments, but signs that something within you has been gently met. Nothing about your presence here was accidental, and nothing about your journey has been wasted. You are not late, not behind, and not forgotten, even if parts of the road have felt slow or heavy. The season you are walking through fits you, even when you could not see why, and the strength it has drawn out of you was never invisible. You do not need to hold yourself together right now. You are allowed to be held. What has been unfolding within you during this time is enough, and it is being honored in ways you do not have to monitor or manage. There is no rush to arrive, no demand to understand everything at once, and no need to brace yourself for what comes next. You can soften here, letting trust replace tension and letting peace take up more space than effort. Stay with this stillness as it settles, and allow your heart to remain open as we move gently into the quiet moment of prayer that follows. There is a quiet space opening now, gentle and unforced, where your breath can slow and your heart does not have to hold itself together. God, we come into this moment carrying the weight that words have struggled to hold, the tiredness that settled in after trying for so long, the anxiety that followed us into sleep and met us again in the morning, the questions about provision, direction, and whether we were ever going to feel safe again. And we do not bring these as demands or proofs of faith, but simply place them here, open-handed, because you already see them. You have seen the nights when strength ran thin, the days when hope felt delayed, the seasons when effort did not equal outcome, and still you did not turn away. We acknowledge before you the heaviness of responsibility that never belonged to us, the pressure to make everything work, the fear of not having enough, the quiet doubt about our own worth, and we release these burdens without apology, trusting that you are not overwhelmed by what overwhelms us. Your word reminds us that when Elijah collapsed under exhaustion, you did not correct him, rush him, or shame him, but you fed him, let him rest, and spoke softly to his soul. And in that same tenderness we recognize your care here and now. We thank you that even when we cannot see movement, you are working beneath the surface, aligning provision, protection, and timing without asking us to manage the outcome. You are the shepherd who restores the soul, the one who prepares what we need before we even know how to ask. And so we allow your peace to settle deeper than our circumstances, deeper than our bank accounts, deeper than our unanswered questions. Let the calm that does not depend on explanations begin to replace the tension we have carried. Let assurance rise where fear once spoke the loudest, and let trust take the place of striving. We receive the truth that we are not alone, not forgotten, not late, and not failing, and that our lives are being held by hands far steadier than our own. We rest in the promise that your presence goes before us, walks beside us, and remains behind us, covering every gap we cannot fill, and we accept that we do not need to understand the whole path to be safely led on it. Thank you for the unseen ways you have already sustained us, for the provision that has quietly arrived in the past, for the strength that showed up just in time, and for the peace that now begins to take root. We place the future gently back into your care, trusting that what is meant for us will come without force, without fear, and without delay beyond what love requires, and we choose to rest in you now. Thank you for sharing this sacred moment, for allowing your heart to be present here, and for walking through this quiet space together. May you carry this sense of safety and covering with you as you go, knowing you are held, guided, and never alone. If you feel safe to do so, you are gently invited to write in the comments whatever your heart is carrying right now. The hope you've been holding quietly, the worry that keeps returning, the question you don't yet have words for, or the pain you've never spoken out loud. There is no right way to write it, and no need to explain or filter yourself. When you place it there, it is not just a comment. It is an act of release, a soft offering laid before God, trusting that He sees what is written in honesty. Nothing shared in sincerity is overlooked, and no prayer is dismissed, even the ones that arrive without clear sentences. As you write, know that you are not exposing yourself to judgment, but opening space for care, guidance, and love to meet you where you are. You are not alone in this moment, and what you've shared is being held gently in the presence and grace of God.